Hey everyone, this is Shanta, and I'm here this evening by the wall of fabric um, to basically do a story. Well, not really. I guess story time, sort of. I thought it would be pretty cool since a lot of times folks ask about the fabric back there when I post a video here. Um, thought it'd be nice to say my story of how I got into sewing, and maybe a little bit about the fabric that's back there. And if you like, you can leave a comment below about maybe some of the things that you would like to see as regards to sewing. And perhaps if you also sew, you can also make a video about how you got into sewing. I think that'd be really cool. So basically for me, I started sewing in 2007. That's when I bought my first machines and I started sewing on my own. Now I come from a very long line of sewers. I have a grandmother who, sold all of her daughters, dresses and, for school and things like that. My mom and all my aunties, they sewed. My aunt, actually, she worked for London Fog and for many years. And my mom, one of her jobs was she worked for a company called Klimco's, and they made duffel bags. So they worked with industrial type sewing machines. But I never learned how to sew from them. Like my mom, my mom made a dress for a wedding that she was in. I've seen her sew. She had one of those old green like Kenmores, but she never actually taught me how to sew. Sewing was just always kind of around. And so my mom, she passed in 1998, and so it was a few years before I actually got into sewing. And it just kind of hit me one day. One day I was like, hey, I wanna claim a piece of this heritage that I have. They all sewed, and why don't I sew? So, so, I in my mind, the definitive person on sewing, because that's basically the only person I knew on sewing, was Sewing with Nancy. So Miss Z, and rest in peace to her. She just recently lost her battle in 2017. And but that was, Sewing with Nancy, that came on like Sunday mornings. That was like, or afternoons. That was what I watched. And Nancy Z endorsed Baby Locks, so I went and I bought me a Baby Lock. And that's part of that. As the rest is history as far as that is concerned. Once I got my sewing machine, I realized there was a very large community that from Pattern Review. And from Pattern Review, I found such greats as Erica B. and Adrian, Patrice, Mimi. Well, she's Mimi G now. Back then, I think she was just Mimi then. Um, let's see. Oh my gosh, it was like Trini Souls. Where I can't remember her name. And let me see. So Adrian, Erica, and Carolyn. Yeah, can't forget Carolyn. Like those are all like my sewing idols, and and I love that. Even though you know I don't blog anymore, I can still kind of keep in contact with what they do via like Instagram, because they're very active on Instagram, so I can see all their creations there. But they are really awesome, and they do wonderful things with their machines, and for fashion in general. A lot of body positive and black girl magic there, as far as those ladies are concerned. So sewing is something that rapidly became like my very obsessive hobby. Like it's one of those things that, even though I don't have a lot of production with my sewing, it is something that I do think about often, read about often, and as a result, purchase stuff often. But I've been doing pretty good. I haven't really purchased much fabric wise in a while, even though I work right next to a Joann's. Like I can walk to Joann's for lunch now. And but I don't for the most part. Most I ever do is I go get some yarn from Madison or something. So I maintain a bit of control. But it is something that I do really enjoy. I'm always in awe of how you can take a flat piece of fabric and turn it into clothes like that. Just sewing some seams, and it's almost like magic. It's magic how an article of clothing that you conceived in your mind or had a pattern for and cut things out and follow some simple to me directions, and voila, there's a piece of clothes. And it's like I said, it's always really magical for me. And so that's why I would consider sewing my favorite hobby. Before sewing, I think I was more of a reader, and I used to draw a lot. But once sewing came along, that kind of knocked all that other stuff out, although I still read quite a bit or whenever I can. But it's definitely, sewing is definitely my main squeeze there as far as hobbies is concerned. So with that being said, I was thinking that maybe, we could get into a point where maybe we share sewing spaces and, maybe a little machine talk. If you have any questions for me, or if there's things that you want to see, feel free to ask. Now, I was basically self-taught, and I taught myself on the Big Four patterns, which, if you don't know what the Big Four, that's your Simplicity, Vogue, McCall's, and Butterick. That's what I learned on, and I just basically went from trial and error from there. Nowadays, we have a larger sewing community that includes a lot of independent sewing companies, such as your Colette, Closet Case, was that By Hand London, just some to kind of name a few. There's a lot of those, and they are a little more approachable in some respects, because that designers they're very reachable. But I still have a lot of love for the major Big Four, because they're very fashion forward. It's almost, the turnaround is very immediate. You could see something in a magazine and boom, there's a pattern for it. And independent designers can also work like that too, but it just all kind of depends on what you like. A lot of people got into sewing kind of tutorial, like basically taking an old shirt that works, or copying something like that. And and while I do utilize that from time to time, that's not really my forte, like because I just like to work with a completely new garment basically, and not just try to copy something else, because half time I don't like the way ready to wear stuff fits anyway. So there's no sense in trying to copy that. I want to just start over fresh with something that in the hopes of trying to get that fit with that. So if you have any questions about sewing, or if you want to shoot a comment to say what you want to see or what you would like for me to talk about, we can definitely explore those options on this channel. So let me know if you would like to have a little, I guess, playlist of Shanta Sews. Anyway, just wanted to come on quick and just give that quick little background and just chat with you guys, and I hope to talk to you soon. Peace.